Good evening and welcome to the program Transforming Agriculture in Nigeria, a program that gives you information on the rich potentials of Nigeria's agricultural sector and efforts of the relevant stakeholders in developing those potentials. I am Gabriel Ujile, your guide. On tonight's episode of the program, we are beaming our searchlight on the poultry subsector in Nigeria in terms of research, production, marketing, and challenges. But before then, we will take the news of happenings in the diary of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. Keep watching. In our diary tonight, Agri Ministry holds Dairy Policy Validation Workshop. Also, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development urges farmers to form clusters to enhance fish production. In a bid to make the dairy subsector of the Nigeria agricultural sector more viable, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, in collaboration with other stakeholders, is drafting a new national policy for the subsector. Speaking at the National Dairy Policy Validation Workshop organized in Abuja by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Dr. N.S. Afolabi Umahihi, stated the policy, when approved, would enhance production, marketing, and regulation of the dairy subsector.
It will give defined direction for the country's dairy industry, where all players at whatever scale will be expected to abide by rules of operation in terms of production, processing, and marketing of dairy products in Nigeria. I'm glad that we are gradually approaching the stage of finalizing the draft document by this validation workshop. Ladies and gentlemen, this effort at putting in place a national dairy policy for the country is apt for the realization of the vision of the federal government articulated through the change approach and a standard practice to be applied at every level of society, public and private, towards a pragmatic national development.
Also speaking, the Director of the Department of Animal Husbandry Services, Winnie Laishalari, stated the workshop provides a platform for key players in the sector like Ministry of Trade and Investment, Central Bank of Nigeria, researchers, pastoralists, among others, to share ideas in formulating the new policy. She added that the policy will, among other things, address the farmers-herders clashes in the country, as well as job creation.
This policy will also help to stem this farmer-herder clash, because when you regulate all from production, processing and marketing, you are also streamlining what we are doing at the production level, and so we are able to bring on board more pastoralists to settle, because you can't expect dairy to grow with transhumance. So we are also looking at how this dairy policy will help to stem farmer-herder clash. Another aspect that is very, very key is the marketing. Okay, if you look around the country, you see a lot of micro businesses around dairy.
The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development has advised farmers to form clusters among themselves to upscale agricultural production in Nigeria, especially the aquaculture subsector. The Director of the Department of Fishery and Aquaculture, Dr. Ime Umo, gave this advice in his office during an interview with our correspondent in Abuja. Umo stated that the ministry has established fish estates in each of the 6 geopolitical zones of the country to increase fish production. He added that the private sector needed to take a cue from there to organize themselves into clusters to make more impact.
We also encourage the private sector to go into fish farm estate. Fish farm estate is bigger than the cluster, because the cluster is just a very small area. But in terms of the fish farm estate, it's an estate. It's an estate that we have other facilities, processing facilities, and other facilities that will add value to the production, and even the marketing and even the employment aspect.
All what we did here is mechanized.
It's back to land, back to agriculture.
I can supply the milk factories for milk.
That's the new norm for employment and for wealth creation. Get your piece of the action.
Before farming, we will spread the manure.
There to take on agribusiness.
They have been working in terms of making sure they give us new breeds.
Seize the opportunity you have been waiting for. Watch Transforming Agriculture in Nigeria, showing every Friday at 8:30 p.m. on the NTA network service.
Animal husbandry plays a critical role in humans' quest to meet the need for meat and other essential uses of animals. Poultry is one of the essential aspects of animals' domestication for their eggs and meat as a rich source of protein, vitamins and minerals. Nigeria as a country has made a tremendous progress in the poultry subsector, making it the leading country in the league of egg-producing countries in Africa and second in bird production with annual production of 650 tons of eggs and 180 million birds. How did we attain this as a nation, and what do we do to make more progress in this subsector? This will be our focus in our next segment, Record of the FDA. Sit back and watch.
Poultry refers to birds raised commercially or domestically for meat, eggs, and feathers. Poultry birds mainly comprise 6 different types, which include duck, geese, turkey, quail, guinea fowl, and chicken. Chicken is the highest demanded poultry bird and accounts for around 93% of total poultry population of the world. The demand for chickens, particularly its meat, eggs, as well as its feathers, is very high worldwide. In Nigeria, only 30% of the demand for chicken and eggs is met by local production, underscoring the huge potentials inherent in poultry production in Nigeria. Worthy of note is the efforts of government to make the poultry subsector viable is the aspect of research. In times past, Nigeria as a nation totally depended on importation of day-old chicks for the growth of poultry in the country. The National Animal Production Research Institute (NAPRI) considered the continual importation of day-old chicks and parent stock as a huge economic loss to Nigeria. To stop this importation and to reposition the poultry subsector, a group of scientists in NAPRI commenced research in 1985 to produce indigenous breed of grandparent chickens that would produce day-old chicks in Nigeria. This resulted in what we have today as the Shika Brown.
There was a National Council of Agriculture meeting that held in Zaria, and in that meeting, NAPRI was mandated to begin a flagship research into the production of an indigenous egg-type chicken that will help in mitigating against the scarcity of day-old chick. Because without a good day-old chick, the poultry industry is dead. Apart from the availability of day-old chick, we know that to import day-old chick, you don't use water, you use foreign exchange. And it's a huge drain on the foreign exchange resources of the country if we keep importing.
The discovery of the Shika Brown in Nigeria by NAPRI is considered as a major breakthrough that has contributed positively to the development of the poultry subsector in Nigeria.
It's a breakthrough because, one, as a result of this, there's no need to import grandparent stock, since there's grandparent stock here. Two, it's a breakthrough because we're able to develop a breed for Nigeria, and for Nigeria that can stand the test of time, that can stand different ecological zones, that can meet high production, that are very hardy, high survivability, and high ability to cope with different types of weather.
Another aspect of breakthrough recorded by NAPRI on the Shika Brown is the egg-laying capacity of this indigenous breed of chickens.
It can lay eggs 280 per year, and it can stay long period of time, about 20 months in lay. So this quality actually makes Shika Brown to be more adaptable in Nigeria.
Aside the earlier research made into the layer variety of Shika Brown chickens, further research is also in progress in improving or developing the broiler variety of Shika Brown chickens.
Like you can see, we have reached advanced stage to launch a broiler that are indigenous here, like the way we produce Shika Brown. egg-type chickens, the way we have the broilers, the way we have the sugar brown layers, we are also in the advanced stage to produce the meat-type chickens, which is broiler. And very soon, we'll take it for multiplicational tests within this 6 geopolitical zone.
Poultry feed constitutes 70% cost of day-to-day production of poultry birds. Feed determines the good performance of poultry birds. In the present time, the cost of poultry feed has been a major concern to poultry farmers, and it becomes imperative to research into cost-effective but efficient poultry feed production. Research by the National Animal Production Research Institute has shown that the byproducts of wheat offals, wheat bran, rice bran, maize, soya beans, groundnut cake, bones, among others, are necessary ingredients for cost-effective but efficient poultry feed formulation.
I'm part of the nutritionists that we are looking into different unconventional feed store so as to bring down the high cost of feed. We have worked on so many non-conventional feed ingredients such as cassava peels.
The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development is also working assiduously in engaging stakeholders to find a lasting solution to high cost of poultry feed and ensure that every impediment to the success of the poultry subsector and the agricultural sector as a whole is removed. One of such engagements is the first National Agribusiness Stakeholders Summit organized in Abuja by Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Muhammad Mahmoud Abubakar.
Some of them, they talked about the rising raw materials for feed, issues with insecurity maybe in the farm areas and things like that. And the ministry, well, first of all, the federal government is doing everything humanly possible to resuscitate and increase the vigor of the economy. And you can see we were in recession not too long ago, but we were able to bounce back and get it going because of all the interventions that the federal government has been putting into the economy. The same thing with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture. We give all the support that we can, whether it's in terms of equipment, whether it's in terms of input, whether it's in terms of capacity building. We are working with the farmers. We are working with our collaborating partners. We are working with the community.
Finance is critical in any agribusiness, and the growth of poultry in Nigeria is not an exception. The Bank of Agriculture is in the business of empowering farmers financially. In this regard, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture through the Bank of Agriculture has supported poultry farmers significantly. One of the beneficiaries of such gesture of government is Samuel Akume. Samuel Akume is a faithful poultry farmer who did not just only take the loan from the bank but also paid back his loan as at when due. His dream of becoming a poultry farmer was brought from fantasy to reality through the help of the Bank of Agriculture.
I started building infrastructures here with intention to at least develop a big farm here because I looked at Abuja as a big market. So I started it in my own small way, built these structures, and expected that gradually I would grow to be a very big farmer. And that's how I started. I built infrastructures here. And when I finished, I needed some funds. I approached the Bank of Agriculture and they granted me a loan, 2019.
As you have seen, the market is there in the poultry subsector. A lot of research has been done, and the financial support from the government is there for you to assess and thrive in the poultry value chain. However, one thing is needful: the technical know-how of rearing poultry effectively and efficiently. In our next segment, Partnership for Development, we are focusing on partnership and useful tips to a successful poultry farming. Keep watching.
We try to avoid any chemical form of fertilizer or anything.
So from this place, what we learn here, that is what we take to our various people.
I hope you are following the normal procedure of feeding.
We'll be fascinated seeing things moving.
It is vital to have sound knowledge before venturing into poultry farming. The multifunctional practice of rearing poultry to maximize the efficiency of production include good brooding management, water management, litter management, disease prevention and control, feeding management, lighting management, floor space management, and environmental management, among others.
Poultry is a lucrative business, very lucrative. And if you feed your chicken well, because whatever you give your chicken is what they will give back to you. If you feed your chicken well, you vaccinate them when necessary, and you maintain strict biosecurity. Not that my friend came and then I took my friend to come and see my chickens and see how well they are doing. You keep them away from your poultry farm. Only those that have been assigned to the poultry house have access to the poultry house. Strict biosecurity, I ensure. Strict biosecurity. Wash your feeder and your waterer every day. Wash your waterer every day, what they use to drink water, and change their feed every day.
An aspect of these management practices that is very indispensable is disease prevention and control. According to Dr. Ote, rearing of poultry requires strict adherence to vaccination processes.
Like when the farmer goes to the hatchery to collect his eggs, from day old, they are given 2 vaccines. If it is layer chicken, they are given 2 vaccines. That is the Marex vaccine and then the Newcastle disease vaccine IO that is dropped in the eye. The other one is given subcutaneously under the skin at the back of the head. Then based on our own schedule, let me just use our own method. At 2 weeks, you give Gomboro. That's the infectious bursal disease vaccine. You give that at 2 weeks in their drinking water. Then at 3 weeks, you give Lasota. That's the Newcastle disease vaccine, Lasota, at 3 weeks. And then at 4 weeks again, you give also the Gomboro vaccine.
For a poultry farmer who is into egg production, more vaccination is required for layers' optimal production.
Based on whether you are in an endemic environment or not, you can go ahead and give a 3rd dose of Gomboro vaccine at 6 weeks. Then when they are 7 weeks, we give them Kumarov water base with Fowlpox vaccine. Then when they are 16 weeks, we now give them Kumarov oil-based vaccine, and that now covers them for about 6 months, just before they start laying. So that when they start laying for us to, just before we start collecting fertile eggs, we give them another booster, and then they are covered.
There are some indications of sicknesses of poultry birds that a poultry farmer needs to understand in order to forestall death of the birds when they are sick.
Sometimes when you see some birds, you look their litters, their sheet, you see the way sheet be maybe green, white, brown, from there all watery. You know that there's a problem. Or maybe you see them fold into one place, or maybe they don't eat, maybe they are eating doesn't be like before. Many things like that can make you know that there's a problem.
For Mr. Taufik Yunusa, who is a veterinarian and a poultry farmer with over 20 years of experience, says buying the right drugs for poultry is what farmers need to take seriously.
You see some people, they'll buy broilers about maybe they buy 200, but to buy drugs is problem. You see all those things. You at least those things need caring. When you see that you have challenge, when doctor just says go and buy so drugs, try to buy it. Don't say this drug is 2,000, this drug is 1,500. No, it's too much. I just want to advise the poultry, when you see anything and doctor advise you, or you see that, okay, see what I can use to tackle the sickness immediately, try to buy it and use it.
The role of government in the agricultural sector is to create an enabling environment and support to the private players in the sector. A lot of individuals in the private sector have keyed into poultry farming. One of the poultry farms our crew visited is Haza Farm in Nasarawa area of Kaduna State. Alhaji Umar Hassan, who is the owner of this farm, started with few birds, but today he has grown and has over 4,000 layers in his poultry farm.
My farm produces 100 to 120 crates every day. The chickens were over 4,300 in number.
You can't force yourself to start it as you can see it like this, because even us, we didn't start it like this. We started from small business. I think we started from we started from 50 growers. We are doing it down here. We get rubber to put them water. We get some rubber to put them their food and those things. They are all not in the cage. They are all not in the battery cage. But now, as we are moving, we get some battery cage to start small. So now we started from 50, and now we get at least, I think, more than 4,300.
Everything about poultry, be it chicken droppings, feather, the meat, or the eggs, is money. Haza Farm gets over 150 crates of eggs per day and has no challenge in selling the eggs.
Many people are using egg now. I think there is not any, you can't be getting more issue about the selling market. So inshallah, every time you get your egg, you can take it to the market, and if you have distributors, they will come and they will come to take it so that they can get their own inside.
Yam is the common name for some plant species in the genus Dioscorea that form edible tubers. Yams are perennial herbaceous vines cultivated for the consumption of their starchy tubers in many temperate and tropical regions, especially in Africa, South America, the Caribbean, Asia, and Oceania. Yam cultivation began almost 11,000 years ago. Yams have a distinct brown bark-like exterior. The flesh can be white, yellow, purple, or pink depending on the maturity of the yam and the region it is cultivated. It varies in taste from sweet to bitter to tasteless. There are about 650 species of yam in the world. Of these, only 7 species are food sources. Some of the species include Indian yam, winged or water yam, purple yam, white Guinea yam, and the Chinese yam. World production of yam was estimated at 73 million tons in 2019, with West Africa producing more than 93% of the crop. Nigeria, Ghana, and Ivory Coast alone produced a combined 86% of the world's yam supply. Nigeria is by far the world's largest producer of yams, accounting for over 70 to 76% of global production. In 2019, the country produced 35 million tons at an estimated $5.65 billion. In perspective, the world's second and third largest producers of yam, Ivory Coast and Ghana, only produced 6.9 and 4.8 million tons respectively. The top yam producing states in Nigeria are Benue, Taraba, Nasarawa, and Niger.
There is a ready market. Job creation, revenue generation is guaranteed in the poultry subsector. As a business venture, poultry farming has a lot of opportunities along the value chain, waiting for investors to tap in. And this is where we will draw the curtains on this episode of the program. Or if you missed the conversation, you can catch up on any of our social media platforms showing on your screen. My name is still Gabriel Ojile. Join us again same time, same station next week. Good night.